What's up, guys? Mr. Dan here, back again with the third Franchise Frenzy edition. These are the part 3s, or at least in some cases, the third film in the franchise or universe. I did make a mistake last month, which I'll address in just a moment. But let's start with number 10. Let's get right into it. I am watching 10 franchises and ranking the different parts. So we're going to start with number 10. This is 10 from the bottom. The Curse of the Fly. A pretty significant drop for the franchise, as I really enjoyed the first two films. This one was made in black and white, shot in black and white for financial reasons. It does not feature Vincent Price. It's a science fiction horror film. Nobody turns into a fly. And it's got some interesting ideas, but I don't love it. So that's number 10. Number 9 is The Conjuring 2. Now here's the mistake I made last month. Annabelle goes in between. So I adjusted that. I addressed that in this comment that I'm going to show you right now. It didn't really affect the overall ranking too much, as I didn't really rank Annabelle too high either. But Conjuring 2, I talked about it last month. I'm not really going to go into detail here. I just don't like it as much as The Conjuring. Not a favorite of mine. Goes on a while. So number 9. And also, just so you know, next month I will not be doing Conjuring 3. There are many other films in the universe in between 2 and 3. So that's the way it's going to work. Number 3. Or excuse me. They're all number 3s, dummy. Number 8. 8 from the bottom. Saw 3. I just don't love this one. I mean, it's okay. I actually rewatched it this morning, and it's pretty good. I'm not 100% sold on the Amanda character, but, you know, I know they have to take the story somewhere. I'm kind of curious to see where it goes from here. I'm a little fuzzy on a lot of the chapters in between. But it's pretty good. It's not my favorite. 7, 6, and 5 were almost interchangeable for me. Very hard to rank the next 3. All kind of fun, but they all dropped a little bit, I think. But anyway, I'm comparing them to each other, not to their predecessors. Puppet Master 3, Toulon's Revenge. Kind of a fun one. Great to see Richard Lynch as a Nazi. So it's puppets versus the Gestapo. This is like an origin story. You get to see the origin of Leech Women and some other puppets. Get another new puppet, the 6-shooter. That's kind of fun. But it's fun. It's just got to go somewhere. So, number 7. Number 6, as I said last month, the only film in this franchise I currently own is Pumpkinhead. I don't have any of the sequels. So Pumpkinhead 3 is next. Ashes to Ashes, it's actually called. And speaking of Radu, which we actually haven't spoken of Radu yet because we haven't gotten to that. This film was shot in Romania. There's tons of people in the cast and crew named Radu. And hey, that's cool. You know, they probably save some money. And even though these special effects aren't fantastic, some of them are pretty good. Pumpkinhead, once again, seems smaller and less menacing. And the atmospherics just aren't quite there. But it had its moments, and it also features Doug Bradley as a creepy funeral director, doing things with bodies he shouldn't, and Lance Henriksen is coming back in when people have like visions of him. He comes back and tries to steer them in the right direction, but it's a Pumpkinhead movie, so people don't listen. Pumpkinhead 3, number 6, number 5, I don't have the third one. It was Subspecies 3, Bloodlust. Pretty good entry in the series. I didn't like it as much as 2. Radu is very good in this. One of the characters that I really liked from part 2 leaves. I don't know if that means permanently. Denise Duff and Melanie Shatner, both very good. That's a good continuation. A lot of good continuity from 2 to 3. And then you have the inspector and a lot of other local people are returning. And one of the characters brings in this sort of special forces guy to deal with Radu. That was kind of fun. Let you figure out how that worked out. But, yeah, it's pretty good. And number 4. This is a fun one. It's goofy in parts, but I do enjoy it. I put it on top there. Phantasm 3, Lord of the Dead. More Phantasm wackiness, more flying spheres, and Angus Scrimm and Reggie Bannister. What can I say? It's pretty good. I enjoy it. Number 3 is probably the biggest surprise on here. I really like this one. With part 2, I remembered part 2. I saw part 2 in the theater. I just seem to have this nostalgia for part 2. Part three, as soon as I started watching it, it all came back. The Dokken song, yeah, I had the cassette tape, of course. Lawrence Fishburne, Patricia Arquette, John Saxon coming back. Obviously Heather Langenkamp coming back. Dream Warriors. I really liked it. I really had a fun time with it. It's a good one. Freddy is still awesome in this one. Really creative effects, giant Freddy worms and so forth. Yeah, this one really surprised me. Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 is number 3. Number 2. Uh-oh. A little bit of a shakeup. I hadn't seen this in
a long time.
And I did enjoy it. Enjoyed the heck out of it, actually. Day of the Dead. Special effects were just astonishing. I'd forgotten how many gory special effects are in this film. I'd remembered a few key parts, but wow, yeah, this was good. It was fun. Sometimes I don't know. I kind of have a feeling if I watch this in 6 months, I'm gonna like it even more. Now that I haven't, hadn't seen it in several years, many years, a couple decades. Let's be honest, Mr. Dan. Yeah, just a fun movie. I mean, I enjoyed every second of it. Number 2. It was close. Close. That only leaves one left. Hammer Time. The third in the Frankenstein series. Not my favorite in the series, but for the part 3s, The Evil Frankenstein is number 1. There he goes right there. I'm not going to say too much about it. I had a pretty long, almost 20-minute deep dive review of this film. I also touch on the first 2 films and just talk about the similarities between the franchise and Universal and some of the directions they're going at this point. Yeah, I was kind of surprised. That's where it ended up. Evil Frankenstein, number 1. There you go, guys. What do you guys think of my ranking? Let me know in the comments below. And I'll be back last Friday next month for the part 4s. All right. Thanks a lot. Later.